Welcome to the beginner's guide to the map known as Live Oaks. Live Oaks is an interesting map because the meta is currently shifting on it and it's been changing over the while. It used to be that everyone would fight over in a block at A1, A2, B1, B2, which was town, and almost nothing else would happen. And then people discovered the rails. That's an area that runs from K4 and makes its way all the way up to A9. And all of a sudden, mediums and lights were going there and people were having to defend it. And that changed the meta somewhat, and now it's on another shift, as we're starting to get heavies making their way over to the rails and different attitudes the way town is working. So it's a live match, quite exciting. Here's how it plays for all the different units depending on where you start. So let's talk about lights first. If you're in the south area, there's a passive light scouting area. It's at F4. You got to be a bit quick to get there and make sure you got your good camo rating. The north have got one. It's at D6. Again, be quick, try not to move, don't turn your tracks. But mostly the lights are fighting it out on a small part of a village at C45, B45, and they're causing an awful lot of trouble running rails, so you find them around about J7 all the way to G0. And they're going backwards and forwards and doing their spotting and having a jolly time while they do it. Mediums, mostly they're running rails, so you know they start off at K6 and then charge with purpose if they're from the south. If they're from the north, you find them around about F0 doing the same thing. You do see mediums sometimes going north, but not very often anymore. TDs from the south, well, you're gathering at E1, 2, and 3, and you're effectively guarding the exit out of town. You also find them around about K4, and then they push up to around about K6 if you're doing well on rails. You might find them at J4 in random matches. That's not particularly a pro place to be, but they do turn up there, so be warned. From the north, you will often find them at G0, helping with the rail push. If they're going to be looking out for town, then you find them at B5, B6. If they're big brutish ones, they'll often go into town, so they'll find their way to A3. Heavies are almost always heading into town, which you find A1 to B3. Not necessarily true with the meta shift, as I told you before. We are seeing a couple of heavies going rails. Usually those heavies are ones that are faster moving and they've usually got good gun depression. So, expect to see a few here and there. Artillery, if you're in the south, you're at H, J, and K1 and K2. And if you're in the north, you'll find yourself at A9 and 0 or BC0. Live Oaks is a live map. It's fun to play. There's a lot of fighting to be had. The city is really exciting if you know how to do your heavy play, and there's a lot of super fast action going on that river road. Just remember, the meta keeps shifting, so stay on your toes. We'll see you on the battlefield.